Well, hello and welcome to Friday, 6/4/2021. I have your numbers and we'll get to them. We'll slip them in there somewhere. But I just wanted to say something this week. This week in one of the social medias, another person kind of in this industry was asking how are young people buying $400,000 homes? And I thought, well, with an expert realtor, of course. But since I was on somebody else's page, I didn't say anything about that. But they were asking about that, and one of the other guys kind of in this industry says, well, they're borrowing against their 401k. And they said, well, they can do that for a home. And, you know, we went through that a little bit, and I said, well, let me show you something, because it's not really true. Now, I understand you can tap some retirement accounts for some things, and you can certainly do certain things with your retirement. But what that is the United States government is betting that you're going to be in even more financial shape in the future by virtue of them raising the tax rates or changing the tax laws or whatever it might be. So if you're in specifically a 401k or qualified deferment plan, what they're doing is they're just betting that you're going to gain enough money on that. They're going to end up with more future money than they would get if they got your money now. Okay? So, and then they really give you the big stick if you violate the terms of that agreement, kind of like buying a cell phone and leaving the contract period, or they hit you with that big money. So the IRS does the same thing. And for that, they call it an early withdrawal penalty. So when you look at your retirement plans, most of them will have a 10% early withdrawal feature. Okay, so young people, I don't know what young is anymore, since I'm still fresh myself, still young and fresh myself. But the deal is, if you pull money out of a retirement account, you better check to make sure you have it for a legitimate reason. Now, in a 401k in particular, which is probably what most people are familiar with, there's the 503Bs and other things out there. The deal that are quote qualified, they're qualified deferments. Now, Roth is a little bit different. You pay the taxes first, and then when you put it in there, anything that comes out of it, you don't get a capital gains, unless they change it before you retire, which in case the game can be over with, right? So it's sort of a gambling, how to best use your money. Now, with money that's in a retirement account, most of it, if you do well, is growing, right? So like this last year during Rona, I think my 401k, I didn't touch it, I didn't rebalance, I didn't panic. That dude jumped, I think, by a third in value. It grew by a third in value. Now, if you pull money out, again, you're going to get hit with 10%. So it's early. So here's and I'm not a tax guy, but I'm going to put this link in the description so you can look this up if you like. What happens is that bet that you're going to use that money in the future is one thing, that they'll get more tax money, but also a lot of people will tap it before they get old, and they get more money that way too. So it's a good way for the government to get 10% off of you. Now, there are exclusions and specific things in this table, this link that when you click it, you'll find it will be fine. But the issue was, how are they buying it with a 401k? Well, you have two costs right off the bat. You have your what's called the opportunity cost. Like I said, mine grew by a third, I think it was. So if I took money out of my 401k for some other purpose, it's going to cost me that whatever 16% or whatever it is. I'm growing 16, 20, whatever percent that was in my particular balance. Or maybe it was 10%, whatever it is. I'm just looking at the bottom dollar on my last time I looked and this time I looked kind of money. So you'll lose whatever percentage that stock market, that investment gain in your 401k is making. But you also get hit with 10% on top of that if it's an early withdrawal. So if you're, say, making 16% money on it, okay, you lose 16% plus the 10% in penalty, plus you have to pay income tax on that, which depending on your tax bracket may be another 20%. Could be, right? So I kind of discourage going to a tax plan, a retirement plan. You don't want to rob your nest egg to buy a house. I would love to sell your house, sell a house to you, or sell your house, either which one. But I really would like to give you solid advice and keep a friend than I would earn a commission. Because commissions don't last. It's like any other money come in. The commissions don't last. I think friendship should, a relationship should. The other thing you have is with a 401k, and the statement was they're getting it from their young people from their 401k. Well, there's no way to do that. Now you can borrow from your 401k, but you have to be careful when you're dealing with your lender that if that's the money you're using for down payment, that you don't end up with an accidental mortgage fraud issue, making yourself look more secure and financially capable than you really are. That's a big no-no. So anytime you're going to do that, or with gift monies or whatever you've got going on, you need to make sure that you're fully disclosed. Just like if you sell a house, you need to be fully disclosed. Don't worry about if it looks bad. You need to tell the truth. The only thing worse than telling the truth is not telling the truth, is deliberately lying about it. So either one of them are particularly bad when it comes to real estate. Now, there are some plans like an IRA. Now you can borrow, you can do some work with your IRA, and with a 401k you can loan some money out. So now here's the deal. Let's think about this. You're too young, you're below 59 and a half, you're too young to pull your money from your 401k. Well, you're going to get hit with, we know, the income tax of that money you pull out. If you pull it out, because it becomes income, and you will get hit with the early withdrawal penalty. We know that, but you can loan the opportunity loss. But there's another vehicle the 401k has. You can loan against yourself, and that loan normally is a small amount, 5, 6, 7, I don't know, whatever the plan requires. I'm not a tax guy. I'm not a 401k guy, beyond being a consumer. But there'll be a small interest, and you think, well, if I've got a 10% credit card, okay, that I want to get rid of to help myself look better, okay, I understand that, and maybe it's 12 or 16. I don't know what credit cards are. I've had one since 1999, and I think it's 9.99%. So I don't keep up with all of the credit card offerings. But say you've got a higher interest credit card that's dinging you really hard, and you think, well, I'll borrow some money against my 401k, pay that puppy off, and that's okay. Same thing like buying a car. Maybe you think, well, rather than taking out a loan to buy a car, I'll loan from myself on my 401k. But now here's the deal with that. If it say we give it a number, 6%, and you borrow from your retirement at 6%, you have to pay that back. Because if you default on that loan, then you get the whammy of the early withdrawal, and you get the whammy of income tax on that. So you get hit twice if you can't keep that particular debt up. But not only are you paying just 6%, which seems real sweet, but what you're really doing is you're losing, say that whatever, let's throw 16 out there. So you're losing that 16% plus 6%. You're actually losing more money when you add the opportunity cost to your interest rate, because the way it compounds, it makes it even worse. You're losing that to pay off a credit card. So I don't give financial advice. I'm just an old gray-headed dude that sells a little bit of real estate and's got to run a commercial right now to keep the Tennessee Real Estate Commission happy.
Hello, I'm Dale Delbridge of Benchmark Realty, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. If you are currently unrepresented and would like to know how to compare up to 3 properties side by side and room by room, then go over to my new YouTube channel, Call Dale to Sell. That's 1 L and Dale, no spaces. Watch the demo on Real Scout, and then call me and we'll set up your exclusive ad-free account today.
And I have your numbers. But just look, just investigate your options before you pull the trigger. I mean, that's what I'm saying right there. Now, last week, in our numbers, in Real Scout system, which if you haven't got your account today, you got to call me for me to set that up for you. I do that so I get an interaction with you, and I get to talk to you just a little bit up front and find out what your needs and goals are, if you're just looking or thinking that you want to keep up with the industry. But last week, 528, we had 7937 in opportunities in Real Scout system. That was down from the previous period. 4,900 in the under contract still showing. That was down on the previous period, and the ratio between the two was 62%. This week, we have 8058 in the opportunities, which means we're going up. We're increasing, and we had 4776, and we went down in the under contract still showing the ones that are sold, but they haven't closed out. 59% was the ratio between the two, so that looks a little bit encouraging. And I could put some numbers up showing you what percentage we gained from May of a year ago to May of this year. Let me just go ahead and throw that number real quick at the tail end of this. Here we go. In 2020, May of 2020, year to date as of 31st, Benchmark had done $983,530,945. And that was in 2020, May of 2020. As of May of 2021, this year, we've done $1,564,410,530. It's a big number, I know. But that makes a 59.1% gain in gross sales year over year. Benchmark's the company you need to work with, and of course I'd like to believe that I'm the agent you want to work with at Benchmark. So Dale Delbridge, Benchmark, Murfreesboro, Tennessee, get your Real Scout account today.